You ever watch a sci-fi movie and have no idea it was originally based on a book? Happens more than you think. Hollywood has a habit of taking some incredible literature and turning it into big-screen spectacles, sometimes without giving the books the spotlight they deserve. In The Prestige, we dive into the dark world of obsession between two magicians in the 1800s. After a tragic event destroys their partnership, the rivalry spirals out of control, with each man desperate to outperform the other. One of them pulls off an impossible trick, and the other turns to none other than Nikola Tesla to come up with something even more mind-blowing. It's a tale of how far someone will go to prove they're better, and honestly, it's one of Nolan's best, even without the flashy theatrics he's known for. At first glance, Bicentennial Man feels like a heartwarming family film about a robot named Andrew, played by Robin Williams, who just wants to be human. But then it hits you with some serious questions about life, death, and what it really means to be human. As Andrew becomes more self-aware, he watches the humans he loves die off one by one, leaving him grappling with his place in the world. Critics didn't love it, and it didn't exactly blow up the box office, maybe because it's part family flick, part deep philosophical dive, and that combo doesn't always sit well. Ender's Game takes us to a future where kids are trained to fight off an alien race. Ender Wiggin, a young genius, gets picked as the potential leader of humanity's defense, but as he moves through training, he starts to question everything he's being told. Packed with strategy and intergalactic tension, the movie didn't exactly crush it at the box office, but it's a solid take on a sci-fi classic that's definitely worth a look. Steven Soderbergh's Solaris follows Dr. Chris Kelvin, a psychologist sent to investigate a space station orbiting the mysterious planet Solaris. When he arrives, he discovers the crew has been seeing strange visions, including encounters with loved ones who've died. One of the most haunting of these is Kelvin's own wife, who appears as if she never passed away. It's a slow-burn sci-fi mystery that messes with your mind. While Soderbergh's version didn't make waves at the box office, it holds a strange, atmospheric tension that's worth experiencing. This bleak post-apocalyptic tale follows a father and his young son as they navigate a world that's barely hanging on after an unnamed catastrophe wipes out nearly all life. There are no real rules here, just survival. The road isn't your typical action-packed apocalypse film. It's much more about the relationship between father and son, beautifully portrayed by Viggo Mortensen and Cody Smith-McPhee. The world has been overrun by a zombie-like infection, but hope lies with a group of children being studied for their resistance to the disease. Among them is Melanie, a child with unique abilities that could change everything. When their research facility is attacked, Melanie and the scientists must find a way to survive in this fresh take on the dystopian horror genre. Kazuo Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go hits you with one of those slow-burn dystopias that sneaks up on you. 3 kids think they're growing up in a typical boarding school, but they're actually clones. Their whole purpose is to have their organs harvested, then get tossed aside like yesterday's trash. No grand rebellion here, just acceptance. It's brutal. Mark Romanek's direction keeps the sci-fi stuff on the down low, making it all about the gut punch of mortality. Maybe that's why it tanked at the box office. Audiences weren't ready for that kind of quiet existential crisis. The Wachowskis crafted an ambitious sci-fi epic with big ideas about fate and interconnection. It spans centuries from the 1800s to 2321, connecting different characters across time through seemingly random acts. Unfortunately, it bombed at the box office and critics were torn. But if you want to see Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, and Hugh Grant stretch their acting chops across time and space, it's worth a revisit. Another adaptation of Jack Finney's The Body Snatchers. This one brings the paranoia to a military base in Alabama. Marty Malone, the rebellious teenage daughter, quickly realizes something's seriously off with the people around her. They're being replaced by aliens. Abel Ferrara, mostly known for his gritty indie films, directs this version, and the change of setting breathes new life into the story. While it didn't rake in the big bucks, critics appreciated the fresh military angle and Gabrielle Anwar's solid performance. Kenneth Branagh's take on Frankenstein is about as ambitious as they come. It's a lavish, high-concept retelling of Mary Shelley's classic, with Branagh himself as Victor Frankenstein and Robert De Niro as the creature. The story stays faithful to the novel, but that didn't save it from getting slammed by critics for being over the top and inconsistent. Still, it's worth a rewatch just to see De Niro's take on one of the most iconic monsters in literature.